Was really astonished after I read Ted Kaczynski's writings because so much of it was eerily spot on. So I told my boss on point how he was. Boss said never mention that to anyone else. Yeah, I did a reading of his manifesto on Periscope because it seemed to apply so hard to what is currently happening. The then right-wing Watch published a hit piece crying about it. Might do another one. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Cassandra Fairbanks has announced, a lot of you already guessed it from last night's Timcast, vaguely mentioned it, I'm the new editor-in-chief of the news side of timcast.com. Welcome, Cassandra Fairbanks, to the revolution. It shall be televised. It's happening right now. Hell of a move. So as lots of you are already guessing, cool. My draft tweets would have Pinochet telling me to chill the fuck out, lol. I would vote for a fascist at this point, or support their hostile takeover. Either way. No matter who ultimately wins, Trump or the cheaters, we must work to get someone 1,000 times meaner and more nationalist than Trump in there for 2024. Payback. Interesting.
Well, you were talking about having Cassandra Fairbanks do fact-checking, though. That's a little...
I wasn't talking about having Cassandra do fact-checking.
Okay.
No, I'm friends with Cassandra, but...
Pretty sure you were.
No, Cassandra's... I like Cassandra.
She
I think
is.
she's great. I think she's partisan. And I want to hire actual journalists and be like, go. Go do journalism.
Interesting. I don't give a fuck anymore. I gone full Cassandra. Kill all the idiots violently terrorizing our towns. If the white supremacists do it, then they're more useful than elected officials. Yeah, I'm literally just sitting here like, well, maybe some people will think twice about going to riot tomorrow. I don't know. Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. The past few weeks, I'm thinking about Charles Manson and how he died, and I just missed all of this. He would have been stoked to see these race riots, probably. I most likely shouldn't tweet this. I just wonder what he would have been saying. I think about weird shit. Was really astonished after I read Ted Kaczynski's writings because so much of it was eerily spot on. So I told my boss on point how he was. Boss said never mention that to anyone else. Yeah, I did a reading of his manifesto on Periscope because it seemed to apply so hard to what is currently happening. The then right-wing Watch published a hit piece crying about it. Might do another one. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. That's who Ted Kaczynski is. Yeah, and the manifesto, that's the Unabomber's manifesto. Yeah, about an incoming robot technocracy that'll take us all down. That's the same one. Yeah, sure, there's some legit points in there. As I'm sure all of the stuff that comes out of Charles Manson's mouth wasn't horrifyingly racist. I'm sure there's some crumbs of truth in there, you know, mixed in with everything else, but it's still coming out of the mouth of Charles Manson, or in this case, Ted Kaczynski. There's other people who can make the same point, who can make the same points that aren't Charles Manson or Ted Kaczynski, you know? Yeah, Ross Scott makes the same points, and he didn't murder a bunch of people with bombs that he mailed to try and make those points. Yeah, fun fact, do you know they only caught Ted Kaczynski, aka the Unabomber, because of his writing, because of his manifesto? When they published his manifesto, because that was one of his demands in, I think it was the New York Times, his brother read it and it was like, oh fuck, that's totally my brother. Oh shit, my brother's the Unabomber. Fuck. Okay, well, yeah, police, here we go. He was a mathematician. He was incredibly brilliant in certain respects. He was also a mass murderer. So, there's that. Tim Pool was not happy with this reporting. Jared Holt is engaging in a harassment campaign against one of my reporters by showing her tweets in a tweet of his own. No journalist should have to endure this kind of violence. And Jared is targeting a woman, no less. Interesting. I don't think displaying someone's rather precarious tweets, statements, public statements, is quite the same as an attack or violence. I think that's just holding people accountable. In this case, you, Tim Pool, because you've just hired this as your editor-in-chief. So yeah, it should be a matter of public interest as to you being one of the largest independent news sources on YouTube, who you're hiring now as your editor-in-chief, who has a lot of very questionable fascist talking points. You know, that's a pretty big oopsie doodle, and not exactly what I would call violence. Appeared on Russia Tonight. Not that that's a get. I mean, so have I. Oh God, I can't use that. Huh. Cassandra Fairbanks claimed Antifa attacked her. Interesting. Cassandra Fairbanks and her right-wing media colleagues solicited nearly $25,000 in fundraising benefiting Fairbanks after she claimed she was targeted by anti-fascists who, she said, shot fireworks and guns at her home in Washington, D.C. A right-wing Watch investigation found little evidence to support Fairbanks' telling of events. Fairbanks is a writer and activist who has been employed by the Russian government-funded media outlet Sputnik, as well as far-right outlets like Big League Politics and The Gateway Pundit, where she's currently a contributor. A leftist libertarian turned pro-Trump social media star, Fairbanks has deep ties to WikiLeaks and its founder Julian Assange, and over the last year, Fairbanks has positioned herself as a vocal supporter of the extreme right, appearing on podcasts with such far-right media figures such as VDares, Peter Brimlow, and attending a gathering hosted by white nationalists during this year's Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington, D.C. Fairbanks, who has more than 220,000 Twitter followers, has defended white supremacists and shared racist sentiments on Twitter, and was retweeted by President Donald Trump in May. She has also made dubious claims against Antifa, a loose coalition of anti-fascist activists who have been known to clash with right-wing groups and the police. Early on the morning of June 1st, being the first week of anti-racism protests following the police killing of George Floyd, Fairbanks called 911. In a recording of the call that Fairbanks obtained from police and released publicly, her voice trembles as she claims someone is attacking her home with guns and fireworks while she and her daughter cower inside. Horrifying. Horrifying. Absolutely. Like, I do not in any way support or condone that behavior. Do not go after people and their families if they're trying to report against, even if they have like diametrically opposed views to my own. Do not do this. All right. That is trying to silence someone through violence again. So that's horrifying. Within days, right-wing media fans have given her tens of thousands of dollars, believing that Fairbanks needed to pack up and flee her Washington home to keep her family safe. Great amount of money, you know, $25,000 to protect her from Antifa super soldiers. While it is true that fireworks were set off in earshot of Fairbanks' home and that she called 911, that's as much of the story that is true. Right-wing Watch did not find any evidence supporting Fairbanks' claim that the fireworks were directed at her home, or that guns were fired, or that anti-fascists were responsible for the incident. District of Columbia Metropolitan Police Department officers who arrived at the scene reported surveying the area only to find used fireworks packaging down the block more than 100 feet away from Fairbanks' home. Police checked the city's gunshot detection system, which uses acoustic sensors to alert law enforcement to potential gunfire, and found negative results. Officers did not report any evidence that ammunition had been fired or the claims from Fairbanks neighbors that any home or person had been targeted. Neighbors of Fairbanks interviewed by the RWW questioned Fairbanks' assertion that the fireworks were a targeted attack. 2 minutes after the fireworks reported by Fairbanks occurred, a nearly identical incident occurred a mile away, suggesting the fireworks were part of a series of events that did not directly target Fairbanks. Fairbanks declined Right-Wing Watch's requests for additional corroborating evidence and the names of people who could validate her claims, publicly accused this reporter of harassing for seeking comment, and claimed that she was instead giving the actual details to another reporter who would refute RWW's investigation. While it is possible that Fairbanks believed that she was being attacked at the time, the evidence indicates that at best, she misinterpreted what was happening the night she called the police, but with her substantial following, Fairbanks' accusations against anti-fascists not only raised tens of thousands of dollars, but spread fear amongst right-wing audiences, adding fuel to the right-wing paranoia surrounding the protests following the police killing of George Floyd, fear stoked by Attorney General William Barr ludicrously naming Antifa as a terrorist organization. And there you have it. The brand new editor-in-chief of the Tim Pool Empire. That's the future, everybody. Yep. Also looking forward to Tim Pool's in-depth reporting and investigation into this, and to talk about what happened so that we can have a more cohesive picture about what's going down would be a good thing. I think it's totally fair. No? Anyone else? Maybe?
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, you know, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like, just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project, podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our gods, Xander Corbis and VK Jehannam, We are prepared to commit human sacrifices for your eternal glory. To our monarchs, the Tim Caucus and Tom Spiker, we are humbled to be your oafish jesters, clowning around in your royal court. To our lords, Evan Nudie, Tofox, Ryan Lubin, Trevor R., Jeff Lamb, and Alexander Thaler, we shall proudly carry your standard onto the battlefield and die for your precious land. To our esteemed Knights of the Round Table, Dark Puppy, Jenna Towell, Anna Loves Riley, Quiet 185, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, The Great Pudini, Bongini, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramona Costa, J. Fraser Cartwright, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Yopi, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our glass, we raise our swords, and we salute you.